Good morning, all the participants. Sorry for late. Government of Maharashtra Ideal Institute awardee Sri Prince Shivaji Maratha Boarding Houses, the New College Kolhapur, celebrates its Golden Jubilee year, promoting the Golden Jubilee year, and on the occasion of World Heart Day, and Internal Quality Assurance Cell of New College has jointly organized this national webinar. Today we have Dr. Amol Dharmadhikari as a resource person. So, first of all, I request to our beloved principal, Dr. V.M. Patil sir, for his inaugural speech.
Okay. The most special webinar resource person, respected Dr. Amol Dharmadhikari, convener of this webinar and HOD of Zoology Department, Dr. Kavita Gagrani Madam, NAC coordinator, Dr. Nilesh Pawar, and all the participants from different colleges. First of all, good morning to all of you. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome today's resource person, Dr. Amol Dharmadhikari. I also welcome all the participants in this very special webinar. I am very happy to inform you all that this year we are celebrating Golden Jubilee year of our college. The New College Kolhapur is one of the most reputed college in Maharashtra. It is our plan to celebrate this Golden Jubilee year with lot of activities and program, but due to COVID-19, we are not in a position to celebrate it in public. But I hope, in fact, I am sure soon we will be in position to meet in person. Today's webinar, as I have said, is a very special because it doesn't deal with area of our academic matter or syllabus. It is about our own issue and it is about our health. Health is most important. We cannot afford to ignore the importance of our health. We are all after success and money, and in this process, we do not pay attention to our health and we fail to respect our body. Among all the health issues, heart is very important. We should always keep our eye on our heart. It is very important. If we ignore it, it may prove very dangerous. Life is enjoyed when we are physically fit. So we should have some knowledge about our heart. Heart is not like car. When it does not run properly and our liking we change it. It is very special organ in our body. So we have invited an authority of heart, Dr. Amol Dharmadhikari, who is consultant cardio thoracic surgeon. I hope his guidance will prove very useful to all of us, and we will take proper inputs from to keep ourselves fit and fine. I'm sure we will learn to take good care of our health. Let us not forget that health is more than wealth. I wish all the best to this webinar. With this very brief remark, I take your leave. Once again, all of you, thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your inaugural speech. Now I request convener of this national webinar and head Department of Zoology, the New College Kolhapur, Dr. Kavita Gagrani Madam, for the introduction of our resource person and say something about today's our national webinar. Please, madam.
Thank you, Nilesh Pawar, sir. A very good morning to all of you. Respected Principal Dr. V.M. Patil, sir. Today's resource person, Dr. Amol Dharmadhikari, our NAC coordinator, Dr. Nilesh Pawar, my colleagues, Dr. Vaishali and Sheetal, and all the participants I welcome you all on the World Heart Day 2020. 29th September is celebrated as World Heart Day to create awareness about the cardiovascular diseases. Those are the diseases related with heart and blood vessels. Cardiovascular diseases are the number one cause of death on our planet. During this COVID pandemic, these patients has double risk on one to get severe forms of COVID, and second, their hearts may not get usual care and attention as they otherwise get. Our heart starts beating far before our birth, and it beats till our last breath. It is very precious, and still most of us keep ignoring it. Now it is high time that everyone should learn to follow his or her heart to avoid the cardiovascular disease. Everyone must use heart to beat cardiovascular diseases, which is the theme of this year's Heart Day. On this occasion, it gives me a great pleasure to introduce my friend Dr. Amol Mohan Dharmadikari. He is renowned cardiothoracic surgeon at Aster Adhara Hospital, Kolhapur. He is a pride alumnus of our college. He has completed his MBBS from Dr. D.Y. Patil Medical College, Kolhapur, and pursued his MS in general surgery from Dr. V.M. Medical College, Solapur. He had completed his DNB in cardiothoracic surgery from Amrita Institute of Medical Science, Kochi, Kerala. He has worked as consultant cardiothoracic surgeon, associate cardiothoracic surgeon with renowned surgeons like Dr. Mohan Pradhan and Dr. Ranjit Jagtap. Presently, he is working as cardiothoracic surgeon at Aster Adhara Hospital, Kolhapur. He has successfully operated more than 200 patients, and recently he worked as a COVID warrior. In spite of being fine-handed surgeon, he worked as assistant professor at Department of Cardiothoracic Surgery, Amrita Institute of Medical Science, Kochi, Kerala, and in various training programs as well. He had also presented his research work at IACTS conferences. He had his expert hands also love to sketch and paint in the free time. So let's get benefited and enjoy with the words of Dr. Amol Dharmadikari. Thank you. So here I request Dr. Amol to
Yes.
session and
Sure. I just want to know how do I share this?
click the share screen
Yes.
button.
Okay.
Have you opened your PPT?
Yes, PPT is open.
Okay. Now click the share screen button,
Okay.
and you will see the various screens. Select the PPT screen.
Okay.
Got it?
हॅलो सर.
Yeah. Hello.
ग्रीन कलरला शेअर स्क्रीन आहे, ते ओपन
Okay.
करून आपल्याकडे बऱ्याचशा स्क्रीन येतील.
हा.
त्यातली पीपीटीची स्क्रीन सिलेक्ट करा.
कुठल्या स्क्रीन?
पीपीटी ओपन केली असेल तर पीपीटीची स्क्रीन.
पीपीटीची स्क्रीन त्याच्यात येत नाहीये की.
आम्हाला पीपीटी ओपन करायला पाहिजे.
मेन स्क्रीन सिलेक्ट करा, तिथून नंतर पीपीटी ओपन केली तरी ती स्क्रीनिंग होईल.
पीपीटी का शेअर होत नाहीये.
तेच की
Zoom and then share.
एक स्क्रीन तुमच्या हायलाइटेड असेल विथ ब्लू एजेस. सर
Microsoft PowerPoint.
हाँ.
System preferences. थोड़ा सा I am new to this Zoom system because I have never presented on Zoom. So just bear with me for a moment.
Hello.
Amol.
Okay.
Yeah, is it
Yes.
Yeah.
now?
Now it
Uh,
is. Okay.
I am sharing the screen. Is it the
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Are
Okay.
you able to see?
Yes, sir.
Shall we start?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So, good morning, everyone. And hello. Hello.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Are we live? Can I start?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. And it's a proud moment for me to be hosting, giving a lecture or webinar to my own college, new college. And I today morning want to thank VM Patil sir, Dr. Kavita and Dr. Pawar sir for giving me this beautiful opportunity because I'm an alumnus of New College. And on this World Heart Day, the theme being use heart to prevent heart diseases, let us talk about the heart. So today we'll talk about be aware of your heart. So this is the theme today, use heart to beat heart diseases. This is the World Heart Federation theme. And as you know, this is by World Heart Federation. So I have taken some slides from them. I have taken some slides from the authentic websites which share about the knowledge of heart. So what is the heart? So you being most of the people are zoology students here, heart is the most hardworking muscle of our body which pumps around 4 to 5 liters of blood every minute during rest. And this supplies nutrients and oxygen rich blood to all the body parts, including itself. So how does it supply blood to itself and nutrients to itself? By coronary arteries. These are the coronary arteries which surround the heart and keep it nourished with blood. So heart disease can comprise of so many things which can occur to the heart. But in general, layman's term, if you see, हार्ट डिजीज किंवा हृदयरोग म्हणलं की आपल्या डोळ्यासमोर फक्त एकच येतं की coronary artery disease. So today let us talk about coronary artery disease. That means atherosclerosis. The other name is atherosclerosis. That is lipid or cholesterol deposition inside the coronary arteries, which can give rise to heart attacks. So what symptoms you can have if the patient is having some coronary artery blockages? Like a patient may have some dizziness, he may have some breathlessness or short of breath, some chest pain also may be there, patient may have some sweating, patient may have rapid heart rate or irregular heartbeat, or patient may have even nausea or vomiting. So these are the symptoms which may be there in a patient with heart disease. And especially if you see in female patients, the symptoms may be different as compared to the male. Females may have jaw pain. Females may have upper back or shoulder pain. They may have pain that spreads to both the arms. They may have unusual fatigue or difficulty in sleeping. So these are some atypical symptoms which the females may experience if they are having heart disease. So this also needs to be considered. So what is the prevalence of heart disease? Now, as Dr. Kavita said, heart disease is the most important killer of people in the world. And especially if you see, we Indians, like Southeast Asian people, are more vulnerable to heart disease than anyone else in the whole of the world. So whether you are staying in the US, whether you are staying in India, whether you are a vegetarian, whether you are a non-vegetarian, the risk of heart disease in Indian population is definitely more than anywhere else in the world. So in India, if you see the first chart, first map which you are saying is the cardiovascular diseases, Maharashtra, if you see, accounts for 4,500 to 4,900 patients per 1 lakh population. In blood pressure, Maharashtra stands for number 4. In total high cholesterol, these are the risk factors for heart disease. Maharashtra stands in number 3. So diet, blood pressure, cholesterol, tobacco use, diabetes, these are all the things which we need to understand if we want to stop this deadly heart disease. In India, if you see, as per the age, in 2010, there were around 47 million patients with coronary artery disease. By 2015, the number increased by 32% to 61.8 million. And if you see the age group now, it is slowly coming down. So even people who are below the age of 30 years, in 2010, it was only 8.3 million people. It rose by 27% in 2015, and around 10.5 million people below the age of 30 are being diagnosed with coronary artery disease and are being treated for heart disease. Now, this is something which is dangerous. This needs to be really thought about and taken care of. Again, what is the leading cause of death in India? In 1990, if you see, ischemic heart disease was number 3 and number 1 was tuberculosis. Now you have treatment for tuberculosis. Tuberculosis has gone down to number 4 and ischemic heart disease has climbed up the ladder and is number 1 cause of death in India, amounting to around 15.87 lakh deaths in 2013. Now that is very alarming and dangerous. There are some newspaper clips which I have got, which are really alarming. Heart disease hits Indian early, especially we Indians. We have, I don't know, some vulnerability more for diabetes, for high blood pressure. And nowadays, if you see now, you students are between the age of 18, 20, 21. You should also think about all these things, that vices like smoking, alcohol, these are really dangerous and killing people. Now you see this headline here, a person was smoker at 18, now heart attack at the age of 16. This is very dangerous. So we should stop all these things. Now, if you see what are the causes of heart disease, now if you see causes of heart disease, we can divide them into modifiable heart disease causes and non-modifiable heart disease causes. Is everyone able to listen to me? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
Able to listen? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, modifiable heart disease causes and non-modifiable heart disease causes. If you see, what is not in our hands is non-modifiable, like aging, that we cannot stop. Genetics, we can't change. Gender, we cannot change. So these are non-modifiable cause. As you grow, as the age grows, cardiovascular system becomes weaker and we are more vulnerable for heart disease. Genetics, if you see, we Indians, Southeast Asians, we are more prone to this genetically. And if any of your family members, first degree relatives, is having a heart disease, parents are having a heart disease, then the kids, siblings definitely will have a little more risk of having a heart disease than someone else. Then gender, men are 3 times to 5 times more likely to develop heart disease than women. So women are protected, but only up to the age of menopause. Post menopause, the risk still goes on increasing in them also. Then lifestyle, modifiable lifestyle, okay, aspects of everyday life. If you see today, the so much of stress in our life to achieve goals, to meet the standards, we are having a very, very bad and very hectic lifestyle, no exercise. This is all giving a very high risk for cardiovascular diseases. Smoking. Now, smoking is dangerous because it has around 300 carcinogens or bad products or chemicals in the cigarettes, like nicotine, carbon monoxide, which increase the heart rate, lower the oxygen level in the heart muscle, and cause thrombosis. Thrombosis is clot formation in the heart vessels. Then diabetes. If you see, India is the world capital of diabetes. So that is also very important. Hypertension, increase in blood sugar, these are all again causes of heart disease. Then diet. Diet, a few years back, around a half a century or 25 years back, if you see, the diet was something different. And now we are following some Western diet. We are having fast food, we are having food rich in fat and salt and sugar and McDonald's and whatnot, Pizza Hut and Domino's, and all these things, soft drinks, are increasing the risk of angiosclerosis or heart disease or high blood pressure. So we need to think about this. Modifiable heart disease causes and non-modifiable heart disease causes. Same here again. If you see in this diagram, the healthy diet consists of maybe fatty fish, vegetable, green vegetable, physical activity, vitamin, antioxidants. Non-modifiable is gender, ethnicity, genetics, and aging. And negative factors are cigarette smoking, excess of alcohol, and diet which is very high in fat and trans fats. So this is dangerous. So what are the causes? If you see, we are all listening to this word cholesterol. Cholesterol na he hote, cholesterol na te hote. What is cholesterol? What exactly it is? So cholesterol, if you see, is a very important soft, waxy substance which is found in every cell of our body. So, and it is used to produce the cell membranes, the vitamin D, hormones, bile acids, and many more things. So cholesterol is not totally unwanted. It is wanted. And 75% of the cholesterol in the body is made in the body, and only 25% comes from the food. And 25% of the cholesterol in the body is found in our brain. So cholesterol is required. We need to understand only one thing: what is bad cholesterol and what is good cholesterol. So what is good and what is bad cholesterol? Something which is called as HDL, that is high density lipoprotein. This is good cholesterol. So what it does is, it carries all the bad cholesterol from the blood vessel to the liver, and it is removed or metabolized in the liver and thrown out of the body. So HDL is good. Okay. What is bad? Bad is LDL. LDL is low density lipoproteins. Low density lipoprotein is bad. What it does is, it causes fatty plaques. Or if you see here in this diagram, this is the blood vessel, it sticks to the wall of the blood vessel and causes plaques. This is pipeline मध्ये blockages होतात, अडकून बसतात गोष्टी. तसे LDL causes clogging of these blood vessels, and this is dangerous for all of us. So LDL is bad, HDL is good. So what are the fats? The common question everyone asks, what should we eat? What should we avoid? So in this, if you see, there is something good, something bad, and something ugly. The good, bad, and the ugly. So good is mono unsaturated and poly unsaturated fats are good. So what do you mean by that? Fats which reduce the bad cholesterol level, fats which reduce the risk of heart disease and stroke, and fats which provide essential fats. Anyway, fat is required by each and everyone to survive. So essential fats which are provided, these are good. So sources of good fat are plant-based liquid oils, nuts, seeds, fatty fish. All these things are good fats. What is bad? Bad is saturated fat. What do? They raise the bad cholesterol, they lower the good cholesterol, they increase the risk of heart disease. And the sources are animal sources. Any animal source of fat, including meat, dairy, tropical oils, all these are bad. Beef, pork, chicken fat, and cheese, and processed butter, tropical oils such as coconut oil, dalda, all these things are bad oil. And what is ugly? Ugly means you should completely avoid. These are like bakery items, processed food, processed hydrogenated, partially hydrogenated oils. These are bad. Some baked bakery items, donuts and MACD and all those things are, and margarine, these are really bad and you should stop using it completely. So how do we lower this cholesterol? First and foremost is exercise. We daily exercise, cholesterol reduces. Lose weight by having a healthy diet, by exercise, and ultimately we also have medicines to lower the cholesterol. But that should be the last resort. First, we should try exercise, healthy diet, losing weight and all. Again, here shows the difference between HDL, that is high density lipoprotein, and low density lipoprotein. Same as I said, HDL increases by statins. Statins are medicines which are given. Smoking cessation increases HDL, that is good, so you should stop smoking. Estrogen. Estrogen is a female hormone, so all the females up to the age of menopause are naturally protected for coronary artery disease, but after menopause, women tend to increase the risk for heart disease. Weight loss, exercise, these are good for the heart. LDL, what are bad things about LDL? What increases LDL is dietary fats, diabetes, thyroid disease, obesity, renal disease, liver disease, and genetics, and no exercise. All these things increase the LDL, which is bad. Next causes obesity. So after cholesterol, we think about obesity. So obesity is which I am seeing nowadays at a very early age. Even if you see the school-going children, they look all fat. But it is very bad to say that you are fat to someone. If you suppose you say someone you are fat and all, they feel very bad. They want to be known as healthy, but it's not healthy. It's bad. 10 to 30% more weight than normal. What is the normal BMI? Normal BMI is around 25. So if you are anything above 25, there is 10 to 30% more than the normal weight, you are obese. And what happens is due to this is 2 to 6 times the risk of developing heart disease is increased if you are obese. And if you study the Indian population, the urban population, almost 73 to 75%, that is 3 out of 4 Indians are overweight, including me. So almost half of the urban Indians, they say, are this thing. And maximum risk age is around 28 to 38. And highest risk of weight gain for men and women is they turn from healthy to obese from the age 26 to 38. So what happens usually around this 25, 26, 27 is you have finished your graduation, you have finished your post-graduation or started post-graduation. Now you are getting married or you get a job and you start to, progress. So you become wealthy, money, paisa aata hai. And then all you reduce your exercise, you don't get exercise. and then obesity starts. And by the age of 38 to 40, you are completely obese person, increasing your heart risk by 2 to 6 times. Then physical inactivity. If you see what we have evolved from the monkey to Homo sapiens, and then now you has a Coke in his hand and a burger and a pot belly and no exercise. All these things is due to physical inactivity. In fact, if you see, each year the physical inactivity contributes to more than 1 million preventable deaths. Preventable deaths is which we can avoid, but still physical inactivity contributes to around 1 million of them. So what does inactivity cause? It can cause heart disease, it can cause stroke, it can cause diabetes, it can cause hypertension, it can cause overweight and obesity. So what do you need to do? Daily exercise, that's all. And what do you mean by daily exercise? I'm not saying you do a daily gym work and all. No. You don't need to go to gym to be physically active. What is recommended for a healthy adult is 5 days of exercise per week. That's all. Every day, if you can take around 30 minutes for your own self, 30 minutes of exercise, 5 days a week, that is 150 minutes. That's all. If you see of moderate exercise, so for children and adolescent, 6
कविता मॅडम आवाज येतोय तुम्हाला?
नाही नाही येतोय मला आवाज. हँग झालेला आहे.
सरांचा नेटवर्कचा इश्यू दिसतोय तिकडून.
हां. कॉल करू का त्यांना?
प्लीज.
हो.
सर लिव्ह झालेत. ओके, आलेत, कनेक्ट झालेत. डॉक्टर अनम्यूट करा. ओके.
Okay, now unmuted.
येस.
Okay. Okay, able to see?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Please
So
continue.
if you see, the examples of vigorous intensity physical activity are like jogging, running, hiking, fast cycling, fast swimming, aerobic exercises, playing competitive sports. And suppose now some people may give reason की मला अर्धा तास सुद्धा मिळत नाही, half an hour सुद्धा मला मिळत नाही. So some physical activity daily, some is better than none at all. Okay, so some physical activity is better than none at all. Next, if you see, get moving or die sooner. Inactivity is killing us. So definitely 21st century, one more disease is added to all the list of disease, inactivity. So get moving or die sooner. So please walk. One more thing, which is very important, especially for students of your age group and maybe everyone's family, we should, friends and everyone, we should see, we all see smokers here and there. We should try to stop them, avoid smoking, because smokers are 2 times more likely to die from coronary heart disease. So really, smoking is bad. I tell them, each and every of my patients, just stop smoking. The risk increases double. So just stop smoking. Why? Because you see, this is just a few uh, list of bad things which are there in a cigarette: acetone, naphthylamine, methanol, nicotine, cadmium, insecticides, detergents, everything, something which gas chamber was used by Hitler, cyanhydric acid. All these things, if you see, we are taking into our lungs, into our blood, and this is really danger. This may give you some sort of good feeling, but smoking kills you, and it will kill you faster. So stop smoking. This is wonderful question which everyone asks. So sometimes they say alcohol is good or bad. Some people say alcohol is good, some people say alcohol is bad. So if you see what alcohol is good, so there was a research which showed that now this is the x-axis and y-axis. If you say x is drinks per day and y-axis were risk of heart disease. So if you see the risk of heart disease may reduce if it is only one drink per day. One drink is around 14 grams of alcohol, not more than that. But I doubt anyone who is taking alcohol would be stopping at one drink. So my sincere advice is, if you are not drinking, just stop it. And if you are already a drinking person, reduce it to very little, around one per day. That's all. Next is diabetes. So we have seen cholesterol, we have seen smoking, we have seen obesity, we have seen alcohol. Now, what is next is diabetes. As you see, now today, if you see, India is considered to be the world capital of diabetes. World capital, and Hyderabad city is the world's capital city for diabetes. This is so dangerous. Now, there was a US study which they did in India. And they found out the average age is 52 for a patient of heart disease. And out of so many, like 13,000 patients with diabetes, 32 patients of diabetes had coronary artery disease, that is some blockage in the coronaries. 10% had heart failure and 70% of them had diabetes. Actual number of diabetic patients with heart complications would run into millions in the country if we really sit down and note it or try to find it out. So diabetes is number one killer. Next is hypertension. Hypertension now, so many bad thing about hypertension is people have started developing hypertension even in their 20s, because the risk of competition, cutthroat, rat race, this competitive exam, that competitive exam, all this thing is so dangerous that hypertensive people are, they even don't know that they are hypertensive. So around 1.8 lakh people's blood pressure was measured in one study, and 74,520 is the number of people whose data was analyzed for this. And where was this done? This was not done in hospital. This was done in malls. This was done on railway stations, on bus stops. And they found out that around 33% of the people whom they studied were hypertensive. Out of that, 62% people did not know that they had hypertension because they never checked it. ओके. सो कसं आहे किंवा अज्ञानात सुख आहे, म्हणजे डायग्नोसिस केलं नसेल तर माहीतच नाही ना आपल्याला की मला ब्लड प्रेशर आहे म्हणून. सो in 2005 there were around 20.6% of hypertensive men, which will rise to around 22.9, that is 23% by 2025, and the number of women with hypertension from 20.9 to around 24%. That is dangerous. Now these are the figures which we should know. What is blood pressure? I see patients coming to my OPD and saying हा नॉर्मल 150-160 राहते. नॉर्मल 150-160 नाही ना ब्लड प्रेशर. एनिथिंग ब्लड प्रेशर बिटवीन 120 is systolic, ज्याला आपण अप्पर लिमिट म्हणतो, अप्पर ब्लड प्रेशर, अप्पर नंबर is normal, and below blood pressure or diastolic blood pressure is 80. So 120 by 80 is normal. What do you consider as pre-hypertension? Anything systolic 120 to 139 is pre-hypertension, diastolic 80 to 89. Stage 1 BP is 140 to 159 and 90 to 99. Stage 2 is 160 or higher and 100 or higher for diastolic. And for emergency, anything above 180 is hypertension and needs to be admitted immediately. Then stress. As everyone knows, stress is there in everyone's life, in your life, in my life, students' life, teachers' life, principal's life, everyone's life. There is a stress. So, stress, if you see, there are two types of personalities, type A personality and type B personality. Heart disease is known to affect type A personality. Why? Because if you see the picture here, there is a mountain in which there is a type A personality. The cause he wants to climb, he is saying because it is there. So he wants to achieve it. It is compulsive behavior. He will say, okay, I'm going to do it, whatever happens. That is type A personality, stress. And type B is relaxing there. He said, oh, it is there, I won't go there. So you take it easy, you know. So stress lifestyle is also very dangerous for heart disease. How does stress cause heart disease? So sometimes, you know, you are going for an interview, or you are going for an oral examination like viva voce, and your number is going to come. Now, you know, the student before you has just gone and you are sitting there, you are in stress. So what happens is that your adrenal glands start releasing cortisol. This is a stress hormone. So stress hormone is there, you are all geared up and all, you go inside, and the cortisol here, this helps. Okay, so in acute phases, cortisol helps, and you clear the viva voce or oral examination fantastically, you come out. But now, over a period of time, if every now and then what happens, you go into stress, and you go into depression and all, this cortisol starts building up in your body. So chronic inflammation starts in your body. This cortisol is good in acute times, but if it continues to build up in your body chronically, you go into something which is called as chronic inflammation response. And at that time, this cortisol or the stress hormone slowly destroys your cardiovascular system and makes you more prone to heart disease, makes you prone for infectious disease and other diseases also. So stress should be less in our life. So at the end of this, what we can say no to heart disease. Now, how do we say no to heart disease? And it's time to take it down. So let us stop this heart disease. How do we do this? So step one, look before you eat. So this is a pyramid which everyone must have seen. You're all biology students, you must have seen these pyramids many times. So what should be our diet? Full of fruits and vegetables. Then comes whole grains, legumes, starchy vegetables. Then low fat dairy fat, low fat, or fish and lean protein should be less than that. Even lesser than that should be mono unsaturated fats and oil. Even lesser than that should be nuts and seeds. And what should be avoided is alcohol, refined carbohydrates, saturated fats, high sodium, high sugar, trans fat. All these things should be avoided. So this chart is very important. So number one is look before you eat. Number two is exercise. It's not that diabetes and heart disease and obesity runs in your family. It's that no one actually runs in your family. That is the cause of heart disease. So start walking, exercising, and heart disease risk will automatically come down. Number three, stop smoking and tobacco. This is very sincere request from my side. If any one of your family members is having tobacco, smoking, please ask them to stop. When I ask to my patients, सिगरेट ओढता का, ते म्हणतो नाही. मग कसं काय? मग हळूच जरा गप्पा मारल्यानंतर मला कळते ते जरा तंबाखू खायला लागते. मग तंबाखू खायला लागते म्हणजे काय? नाही दररोज नाही. मग काय? नाही तंबाखू खाल्ल्याशिवाय ते कसं आहे की शेतामध्ये काम करायला लागते, किंवा तंबाखू खाल्ल्याशिवाय सकाळी प्रेशरच येत नाही. सो these are some foolish reasons which they give. So stop smoking, stop tobacco, because risk of heart disease, if you stop, reduces significantly after 1 year of quitting, and within 2 years almost reaches that of a non-smoker. So this chart I took from World Heart Federation. If you see, within a couple of hours, what happens if you stop smoking? The oxygen in the blood increases. 12 hours of stopping of smoking, carbon monoxide drops to normal. Within 72 hours of stopping cigarette, breathing becomes easier. Within 2 to 12 weeks of stopping smoking, circulation and lung functions start improving. It may not be normal, but they start improving. And within 12 months, the heart disease risk is halved. So use heart to stop smoking. Someone wants to say something? Hello?
No,
Okay.
sir. There will be another session for queries, and we will continue with that later on.
Okay. So this again I took from a newspaper. Diet, exercise reduce diabetes, heart disease by around 75%. So this is very true. Diet, exercise reduce heart disease by 75%. And it's not only heart disease which you will be less prone by you stopping tobacco or improving diet or physical activity or alcohol. There are so many diseases which you can get rid of. If you see tobacco, if you stop, cardiovascular disease is helpful, cancers will be reduced, chronic respiratory disease will be reduced, your oral health will improve, so on and so forth. Diet also helps in so many things. It's not only heart disease, but overall functionality, mental health, everything will improve if you stick to all these things. Then number four in your heart disease prevention is know your numbers. So these are very important. If someone elderly, your parents, your grandparents in your house, they have their blood test done and all, you should know what exactly is normal. So this is what is LDL is bad cholesterol. Anything below 100 is normal. For good cholesterol, anything above 40, if you say 35, 40 is good for HDL. And sugar, fasting blood sugar, anything below 110 is good. पोस्ट फ्रँडियल म्हणजे जेवल्यानंतर 2 तासाची 140च्या आतली. ब्लड प्रेशरचे मगाशी फिगर सांगितलेत. दिस नीड टू बी नोन टू यू. 120/80 इज नॉर्मल. So magaspasun I have said all the bad news about heart disease. I talked like I'm threatening you with heart disease, but there is some good news is also there. In recent few years, if you see by all this awareness of heart disease and all, what has happened is that the percentage of milder heart attacks has declined by 24%, and the percent of serious heart attacks has declined by 62%. Let us all work together to reduce it further. Okay? So say no to heart disease, and it's time to take it down. This one slide I added because there are some myths about heart disease. If you also have these myths, let us discuss. One myth is if you have a heart disease, if you are diagnosed with heart disease, you need to take it easy. This is a myth. Actually, the fact is for the vast majority of the patient with heart disease, being sedentary is not a good idea. It's a bad idea. So physical activity helps strengthen the heart muscle and improves the blood flow to the brain. So it's not that you have to be bedridden if you have a heart disease. You can still do exercises, but in fact, in talking consultation with your doctor. Then another myth is it's okay to have a higher blood pressure when you are older. No. As you grow older, the blood pressure tends to increase. Okay, because the blood vessels start hardening. But it doesn't mean that it is good for you. You need to take care of that. It happens because the arteries walls also become stiff with age. You need to get treatment for that. Maybe exercise, diet, and all those things. Then the myth is heart disease is really a man's problem. So a woman or a female won't be affected. No. As I said, up to the age of menopause, women have this estrogen which is protective. But above the age of menopause or above the age of 65, the risk in women also is almost the same. By the age of 80, 83% of the men and 87% of the women are affected with heart disease. One more myth is if you have a heart disease, you should eat as little fat as possible. Now, this is not true. Fat, if you know, is required for our whole body. So it's true that you should have a fat diet which is low in saturated fat and avoid trans fat altogether. But the unsaturated fats in vegetable oils and other foods are beneficial. It is required for our well-being. Then one more myth is diabetes won't threaten my heart as long as I take my medications. No, treating diabetes can reduce your risk for or delay the development of cardiovascular disease, but still you are at increased risk for heart disease, because the risk factors that contribute to diabetes also are the risk factors which are going to contribute for your heart disease. So these are certain myths. If you have any questions, we can always talk at the end of the session. Then there are some salt myths which are there. First one, which they say, is eliminate salt or sodium completely from your diet so that you can have a healthy lifestyle. No. See, sodium, as other electrolytes, is required for proper functioning of the body. It is not good to completely eliminate. So what we say is we should reduce the amount of salt, that is 1500 milligrams for an healthy adult per day. Then next they say sea salt has less sodium. No, sea salt has the same amount of sodium as our table salt or another salt. So the same amount should be consumed, not more. Then they say, I usually don't salt my food. Varun meat ghalat nahi, and so I don't have much of sodium in my diet. But if you see nowadays packed food milta, we buy items ready to cook, ready to eat from the malls and all, you should see the nutrition facts in which the percentage of sodium chloride is written on that. So we need to see that. Even if you see, sodium is found in medicines. So it's not only that food are dangerous, you should check your medicines also. Certain medicines have sodium as an combined with the proper medicine molecule. So that also should be controlled. Then they say meat घातलं नाही तर चव येत नाही. So see, there are so many other things like spices, herbs, citrus fruits to add flavor and spice to your diet. So not only salt, something else also should be tried. My blood pressure is not. Sixth myth they say is my blood pressure is normal, so I don't need to worry. So I can eat as much as sodium. No, even if your blood pressure is normal, restrict the amount of sodium to around 1500 milligram per day so that you never get a high blood pressure. Then there are items which have already sodium in them, which are high sodium. So watch out for poultry, watch out for cheese, watch out for bread. All these things definitely have more sodium than you think. So salt should be restricted, not completely avoided. Then this is one question which I think everyone must be having in your mind. What is cardiac arrest and what is heart attack? A layman or normal man would use these two terms interchangeably, but usually these are not the same terms. Cardiac arrest is an electrical event. आपलं हार्ट जे चालतंय ते हार्टमध्ये एक इलेक्ट्रिकल करंट तयार होतं, त्याच्यामुळे आपलं हार्ट बीट होत असतं. हार्टला जिवंत ठेवण्यासाठी रक्तवाहिनीतनं रक्त जातं. दॅट इज द ब्लड सर्क्युलेशन. कार्डियक अरेस्ट इज अ इलेक्ट्रिकल प्रॉब्लेम. इलेक्ट्रिसिटीमध्ये प्रॉब्लेम झाला, शॉर्ट सर्किट झालं तर ॲरिथमिया होतात, कार्डियक अरेस्ट होऊ शकतो. हार्ट अटॅक म्हणजे काय की ब्लड वेसल्समध्ये रक्ताची गुठळी तयार झाली, ब्लॉकेजेस तयार झाले, प्लाक तयार झाला, जसं मगाशी चित्र दाखवलं, रक्तपुरवठा कमी झाला तर तेवढ्या हृदयाच्या भागाला रक्तपुरवठा कमी मिळतो आणि हार्ट अटॅक येतो. प्रत्येक कार्डियक अरेस्टचं कॉज हार्ट अटॅक असेलच असं नाही आणि प्रत्येक हार्ट अटॅक नंतर कार्डियक अरेस्ट होईलच असं नाही. सो कार्डियक अरेस्ट इज अ इलेक्ट्रिकल इव्हेंट and heart attack is a vascular event, circulation problem. Next, there are some unusual tips for healthy heart which I got from the net. So as you see, around 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Get the perfect amount of sleep to have a healthy heart. You should have a good laugh which causes blood vessels to dilate and increases the blood, reduces the blood pressure. You should have a jadoo ki jhappi like Munna Bhai that reduces stress by releasing oxytocin. Then drop the remote. आपण जर टीव्ही समोर कंटिन्युअसली बसलोय तर नुसतं बसून होत नाही, बसतो, that is inactivity. Then you start munching on something that increases cholesterol. All these things rapidly increase the heart disease. Then also they say steer clear of traffic. म्हणजे ट्रॅफिक मध्ये जर आपण जास्त वेळ राहिलो and the decibel sound increases, that also increases the heart disease risk. Caffeine, if they say that 1 to 3 cups of coffee a day can lead to a 20% decrease in hospitalization for abnormal heart rhythms. So coffee, they say, is good. Then if you have a pet at home, especially a dog, that reduces your stress and that can help reduce the heart disease. Then marriage, they say, if you have a healthy married life, definitely the risk of heart disease is reduced by around 13%. If you are a vegetarian, save the animals, that also helps in reducing the risk of heart disease. Then if you're an office worker or if you're a student, you're studying in the library and all, frequent visits to the water cooler keeps your legs and body walking or moving, and that is activity which also helps in reducing the heart disease. This one clip I got from the internet, I don't know whether you will be able to see it there, and this is what the film industry thinks about heart disease and heart transplant. This is on a funny note. Just we'll share this, see if you can see to this. This is not how heart transplant is done, but let us have some fun in this.
Sampo, you are it.
So use heart for everything that you do, and thank you for listening to me so patiently, and really thankful to New College. One more thing I forgot: daytime nap, heart disease risk. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So we have some questions.
How much time to walk in kilometer and yoga time per day for age around 50? So as I said, yoga or walking is a moderate exercise. So definitely you can do around 30 minutes of exercise or walking or yoga for around 5 days a week. So that will be ideal, but you should not overexert yourself. जेवढं जमेल तेवढं आपण करावं, पण एक्सरसाइज करत राहणं हे फार महत्त्वाचं आहे. Okay. Then someone has said, please add some comments on HDL and LDL. If person maintains blood sugar level and BP, how much years she will survive? Now, how much someone will survive is entirely in God's hand. It's not in anyone's hand. जेव्हा लिहिला असेल त्यावेळेला आपल्याला anyone gets a call, we have to go. But definitely HDL should be a little more higher than 35 or 40, and LDL should be less than 100. Blood sugar, as I said, fasting blood sugar below 110, and postprandial जेवणानंतरची 2 तासानंतरची sugar should be below 140. Then, is increased pulse rate a sign of heart disease? 72 beats per minute is an ideal one. Is there a range? Yes. Increased heart disease pulse rate is definitely a sign of heart disease, but every time it may not be the sign of heart disease. So see, sometimes you are sitting in front of your examiner. Maybe Kavita madam is taking your exam, and so your heart rate will increase. What will be the next question? your HOD is sitting there and you don't know the answer, heartbeat will. But that doesn't mean you have a increase of risk of heart disease. Definitely, the heart rate should be around 60 to 80 for a normal person. But if you are having a more heart rate, you need to see, check your heart rate when you are calm. संध्याकाळच्या वेळेला everything is fine, stress is not there, उद्या exam नहीं है. All these things also are important while you are checking your heart rate. Okay. How we get healthy diet? See, healthy diet, as I showed, there was a pyramid. You're all biology students, you know better than me. Healthy diet is what you say, fruits, different color fruits, different color vegetables. They're all definitely healthy. Less amount of fat, less amount of non-veg is definitely healthy. Then if somebody is diagnosed with heart ischemia and he is doing all work at ease, what is the risk level? See, someone if is already diagnosed with a heart disease, then he would be already on some medications, some blood thinners like ecosprin, clopidogrel, some fat reducing statins like atorvastatin or rosuvastatin will be there. So definitely they need to take it easy, but they can continue working. It's not that you have a heart disease झालं म्हटल्यानंतर तुम्ही घरीच बसलं पाहिजे. No, continue taking your medicines and continue working also. Continue exercising. Definitely in consultation with your doctor. You should have regular visits to your doctor so that he can have a good checkup and he can advise you on adjusting the medicine. There are so many people, even after heart surgeries, open heart surgeries, they are doing such a stressful of work. Now, if you know our Prime Minister, beloved Prime Minister, past Prime Minister, Mr. Manmohan Singh, now he also had underwent bypass surgery twice. And he has run our country for 10 years. So definitely none of us has that much of stressful job. So heart disease, you can work, no issues at all. Palpitation and hypertension is related. That is a question. Yes, definitely. Palpitation and hypertension may be related. What happens is that palpitation may be again due to fear, and palpitation is there, and again exam tension is there. Again, you are done something wrong and you are going to face your parents or you are going to propose someone, and palpitations can occur. And that time, if you see, the blood pressure also can increase. But if it is short-lived, you should not worry about that. Mr. Nilesh Pawar is smiling. So it should not be of much of a problem. Hypertension, it depends upon when do you check the blood pressure. Ideally, when you are sitting quiet and all, no stress, then you should check a blood pressure. Even in my clinic, when patients come, I don't immediately check the blood pressure because they have walked in, they must have walked the stairs. Their मनामध्ये त्यांच्या चिंता असतात की आता डॉक्टर काय सांगतात की. तर अशा वेळेला डेफिनेटली ब्लड प्रेशर थोडंसं हायर साईडला असण्याची शक्यता असते. सो आय ऑल्सो गिव्ह देम सम टाइम and then check the blood pressure. That will be the ideal thing. Does overstudy cause heart problem? Overstudy. Okay. Mahendra, Mr. Mahendra Wagmare has asked, does overstudy cause heart problem? No, dear. Overstudy would not cause heart problem. If you are going to take it really to the heart, then definitely it might cause heart problem. Don't take too much of stress. Then, sir, BP patients after 14 to 15 years effects on kidney. Doctor said dialysis is must. No way is, I think, homeopathy to stay on going process of fistula stop. BP level not maintained. What to do? Okay. Now, madam, see, what happens is that 14 to 15 years of hypertension, blood pressure on higher side, can cause stress on the kidney. And if kidney is the cause, kidney may be the cause of hypertension, kidney may be the effect of hypertension, dialysis is a must. Now, if you see here, fistula, ते का करतात, डायलिसिस साठी फिस्चुला का करतात, तर मानेतनं किंवा जांघेतनं डायलिसिस करणं प्रत्येक वेळेला हे शक्य होत नाही. त्याच्यामुळं फिस्चुला करतो आपण हातामध्ये. तुमच्या घरातल्या कोणाला फिस्चुला केला असेल तर डेफिनेटली तो त्यांच्या सोयीसाठी असतो की फिस्चुला त्यातनं डायलिसिस सोपं जावं म्हणून. आय होप आय हॅव आन्सर्ड युअर क्वेश्चन चित्रा. देन महात्मा फुले आरोग्य योजनेत कोणते हार्ट डिझीज कव्हर होतात? ओके, महात्मा फुले आरोग्य योजनेमध्ये बायपास सर्जरी, हृदयाची झडप बदलणे, हातामध्ये डायलिसिससाठी फिस्चुला करणे, जन्मजात हृदयाची काही दोष असतात ते सुद्धा आहेत त्याच्यामध्ये, एन्जिओप्लास्टी सुद्धा त्याच्यामध्ये आहे. नेक्स्ट इज, डज द मोर टेन्शन कॉज हार्ट डिजीज? डेफिनेटली more tension may lead to increase of stress and therefore heart disease. Then other question is, anybody suffering from low BP or high BP, which are primary precautions? Okay, now primary precautions, as I said, BP का आहे, हाय BP का आहे, त्याचं कॉज आपण हुडकणं गरजेचं आहे की बाबा स्ट्रेस आहे का, तुम्हाला किडनीचा आजार आहे का, रक्तवाहिनीचा आजार आहे का, रक्तवाहिनीमध्ये स्टिफ झाल्यात का वयानुसार. सो दिज आर कॉजेस. ह्या सगळ्या कॉज हुडकणं गरजेचं आहे. प्रायमरी प्रिकॉशन्स काय आहेत तर मी सांगितल्याप्रमाणे डाएट, फॅट लेस करणे, डाएट व्यवस्थित घेणे, बॅलन्स डाएट घेणे, स्मोकिंग थांबवणे, ऑल दिस थिंग्स आर व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट. Then to control BP of aged people, what can we do? Exercise is important. Then also diet is important. If they are smoking, ask them to stop smoking. तंबाखू असतील तर तंबाखू थांबवायला सांगा. मेडिसिन्स असतील डॉक्टरांना दाखवून ते घ्यायला सांगा. ओके, देन how can we reduce the blood cholesterol? Blood cholesterol, as I said, first is exercise, then is your diet, proper diet control, less of fat, less of trans fat, bakery item avoid kara, oily foods have to avoid kara, non-veg avoid kara, do exercise, lose your weight, definitely cholesterol will slowly come down. But खरोखर तुम्हाला आजार डायग्नोज झाला असेल तर डॉक्टर तुम्हाला स्टॅटिन नावाचे औषध देतात की जेणे कोलेस्ट्रॉल कमी करता येतं स्टॅटिन. ओके, someone asked, where can we meet for OPD? Okay, my OPD, I am doing OPD in Aster Aadhar Hospital, so if anyone wants to come, you can call me and come anytime, no issues. Is there any relation in between metabolism, slow and high, and heart disease? Now, higher metabolism, if you see someone has a higher metabolic rate, then what happens is that he will have what you say low weight. Slow metabolism, he will have high weight, and definitely that can cause heart disease. Then Madhavbag treatment is trustable. Now see, Madhavbag treatment, if you see, they are doing some Ayurvedic treatment, and I'm not an Ayurveda specialist. So from my side, it is very difficult for me to comment about Madhavbag's or Ayurvedic treatment. But one thing I would like to tell everyone here, that why we are needing so much of allopathy today is because our lifestyle, we have left our Indian lifestyle, our cultural lifestyle, and we have turned over to a more westernized lifestyle. आपलं जे आयुर्वेदिक लाईफस्टाईल होतं ते सोडून जर आपण वेस्टर्न वागू लागलो तर डेफिनेटली ते त्याच्यामुळे झालेल्या आजाराच्या ट्रीटमेंटसाठी वेस्टर्न औषधांचीच गरज आहे. आत्तापासून आपल्या घरातल्या लहानांना, किड्सना, इफ वी स्टार्ट देम मेंटेनिंग आयुर्वेदिक लाईफस्टाईल, then definitely we will not require anything else than just a good lifestyle. Then what is the main cause of hypertension? Main cause of hypertension, see, there are many causes. Kidney disease is one cause, blockages in the blood vessels is another cause. Then you might have age also is a main cause. Then genetics is the cause. So these are the causes of hypertension you need to see. Then intermediate hypertension साठी ट्रीटमेंट टेस्ट करणे इम्पॉर्टंट आहे का? येस, डेफिनेटली. कुठल्याही प्रकारचं हायपरटेन्शन असेल तर ट्रीटमेंट आणि टेस्ट, पहिला टेस्ट केलं तर आपल्याला कळू शकेल की ट्रीटमेंट काय. प्रत्येक हायपरटेन्शनच्या पेशंटला गोळी द्यावीच लागेल असं नाही. थोडंसं एक्सरसाइज, डाएट ह्या सगळ्या गोष्टीनं सुद्धा कंट्रोल होऊ शकतं. देन हाऊ डू यू गेट हेल्दी डाएट? मगाशी बोललोय मी. व्हॉट टू डू ॲट द टाइम ऑफ सिव्हिअर अटॅक? सी ॲट द टाइम ऑफ सिव्हिअर अटॅक तुमच्या घरामध्ये इकोस्प्रिन किंवा ॲस्पिरिनची गोळी असेल ती पटकन जिभेखाली द्यायला द्या, पाण्याने घ्यायला द्या. घरामध्ये सॉर्बिट्रेट असेल तर सॉर्बिट्रेट जिभेखाली द्या आणि तुमच्या घराच्या जवळचे जे डॉक्टर आहेत त्यांना ताबडतोब दाखवा किंवा फोन करा. जवळचं हॉस्पिटल इज द बेस्ट हॉस्पिटल ॲट द टाइम ऑफ सिव्हिअर अटॅक. देन हायपरटेन्शन डिटरमाइन करण्यासाठी कोणत्या टेस्ट जनरली करतात? स्ट्रेस टेस्ट काय असते? बरं, हायपरटेन्शनसाठी किडनीची टेस्ट करतात, अल्ट्रासाऊंड करतात, ब्लडचे टेस्ट करतात. स्ट्रेस टेस्ट काय आहे? तर स्ट्रेस टेस्ट म्हणजे आपण जे ट्रेडमिलवर चालतो ना, एक्सरसाइज पट्ट्यावर पळतो, त्याच्यामुळं काय होतं की हृदयाचे ठोके वाढतात आणि हृदय सुद्धा स्ट्रेसमध्ये येतं. अशा वेळेला तो कंटिन्युअसली ECG घेतला जातो आणि त्या ECG मध्ये काही चेंजेस जर आले ॲट अ पर्टिक्युलर लेवल ऑफ स्ट्रेस, देन वी कॅन डायग्नोज की ह्या पेशंटला आजार आहे का नाही आहे. दॅट इज स्ट्रेस टेस्ट. व्हॉट शुड बी अवॉइडेड इन हाय BP? Salt should be avoided in high BP. Oily foods, bakery items should be avoided in high BP. Then, can one extra lecture on diet and lifestyle with exercise? I am not an expert in diet. That your HOD madam will decide. Then feedback link with shared on Telegram group after end of webinar. Please fill and that is different. Then how chewing tobacco can cause heart disease? Now, as you said, tobacco is the main ingredient of cigarettes or what you say, बीडी. मी पेशंटला विचारतो तुम्ही सिगरेट आणि बीडी ओढता का? पेशंट म्हणतो नाही. मग मुलगा म्हणतो सर तंबाखू खातात वडील. म्हणजे असं केलं काय आणि असं केलं काय? तंबाखू वाईटच आहे. सो टोबॅको इज बॅड फॉर हार्ट. Then angioplasty patients, what should be avoided? Same as I said, all the diet control, exercise या सगळ्या गोष्टी झाल्या पाहिजे. What is side effect of sorbitrate? सॉर्बिट्रेटचं काम काय आहे की रक्तवाहिन्या डायलेट करतं, रक्तवाहिनीचा साईज वाढवतो की जेणेकरून इज वन मेजर साइड इफेक्ट ऑफ सॉर्बिट्रेट. सॉर्बिट्रेट खाल्ल्यावर डोकं दुखू शकतं. ओके, इफ पर्सन हॅज वन किडनी कॅन इन्क्रीज द रिस्क ऑफ हार्ट डिजीज. की किडनी चेंजेस ॲट अर्ली एज कॅन देर बी प्रॉब्लेम्स लेटर. सी हार्ट व्हॅल्वचं ऑपरेशन झालं आहे का नाही झालं आहे मला या क्वेश्चनवरून कळत नाही, पण हार्ट व्हॅल्वचा प्रॉब्लेम ॲट द अर्ली एज असेल. आम्ही भरपूर पेशंट असे बघतो की ज्यांच्यामध्ये बाबा हार्ट व्हॅल्वचं ऑपरेशनची गरज असते. खूपच खराब झाली हार्ट व्हॅल्व तर बदलणं गरजेचं असतं, पण ते हार्ट व्हॅल्व बदलल्यानंतर आयुष्यभराचे प्रॉब्लेम सॉल्व्ह होतात अशातला प्रॉब्लेम हे नाही. पण तो पेशंट जर व्यवस्थित गोळ्या औषधं सांगितल्याप्रमाणे टेस्ट बिस्ट सगळ्या व्यवस्थित करत राहिल्या आणि त्याप्रमाणे जर मेंटेन राहिला तर डेफिनेटली पेशंट कॅन लीड अ नॉर्मल लाईफ. हार्ट व्हॅल्व बदलल्यानं प्रॉब्लेम येत नाही. पेशंट कॅन डेफिनेटली हॅव अ बेटर लाईफ. कॅन एपिलेप्सी रिलेटेड टू हार्ट प्रॉब्लेम? सी एपिलेप्सी हार्ट प्रॉब्लेमची रिलेटेड आहे असं मी डायरेक्टली म्हणू शकत नाही, पण हृदयामध्ये जर रक्ताच्या गुठळ्या झाल्या किंवा हृदयाला जर रिदम प्रॉब्लेम झाला, रिदम प्रॉब्लेम, हृदयाचे ठोके अनियमित पडू लागले, रक्ताची गुठळी झाली आणि मेंदूला रक्त पुरवठा कमी मिळाला तर एपिलेप्सी त्याच्यामुळे होऊ शकते. इन कोविड डिझीज ब्लड प्रेशर शुगर लेवल इन्क्रीजेस ऑर नॉट? कोविडमुळे ब्लड प्रेशर किंवा कोविडमुळे शुगर वाढत नाही. कोविडमुळे आपण स्टिरॉइड देतो काही पेशंट्सना, कोविडमुळे त्या स्टिरॉइडमुळे शुगर लेवल वाढू शकते. दॅट इज हायपरटेन्शनचे सिम्पटम्स काय आहेत? नॉर्मल एक्सटर्नल सिम्पटम. हायपरटेन्शनमध्ये पेशंटचं डोकं दुखू शकतं, हायपरटेन्शन खूपच झालं तर जीभ जड येऊ शकते, छातीत दुखू शकतं, हात दुखू शकतात. दिस कॅन ऑकर. Then is measuring HDL or C3 alone efficient parameter to know about enhanced status of heart in an adult who is exercising on regular basis? See, measuring HDL, तुम्ही जेव्हा HDL किंवा कोलेस्ट्रॉल बघण्यापेक्षा पूर्ण कोलेस्ट्रॉल जर बघितलं तर त्याच्यामध्ये आपल्याला HDL कळू शकतं, LDL कळू शकतं, and definitely this can give you the status of your heart disease for a person who is having a regular basis exercise. Can brisk walking play important role to control BP? Definitely, brisk walking will help. Anything else? I think ह्या chat मधले सगळे संपवलेले आहेत. अजून काही क्वेश्चन असतील?
Now we will move towards our last part. Vote of thanks.
A child which is 6 months old has 2 holes in his heart. Doctor advised excess sweating. Why the sweating should avoid it? I really don't know why excess sweating is avoided. पण 2 holes असतील हृदयामध्ये तर हे किती मोठे आहेत ह्याच्यावरती त्याचा ट्रीटमेंट किती लवकर करणं गरजेचं आहे हे फार महत्वाचं आहे. ह्या क्वेश्चन वरती म्हणजे असं आय डोंट नो वाय एक्सेस स्वेटिंग कधी होतं तर फटीग जेव्हा होतो कार्डियक आउटपुट म्हणजे आपलं जे हार्ट पंपिंग जे करतं कार्डियक आउटपुट जेव्हा रेड्यूस होतो तेव्हा पेशंटला स्वेटिंग होतं. तो व्हेनेवर स्वेटिंग इज देअर दॅट इज एन इंडिकेशन किंवा कार्डियक आउटपुट हॅज ड्रॉप. एवढं मी इथं सांगू शकेन. लिपिड प्रोफाईल किती दिवसातून करावी? आता प्रत्येकानं लिपिड प्रोफाईल करायला पाहिजे अशातला भाग नाही. यू पीपल आर मोस्टली अराउंड 20s, सो तुम्ही लिपिड प्रोफाईल लगेच करायला पाहिजे अशातला भाग नाही. पण घरामधले तुमचे जे आई वडील असतील, पॅरेंट्स असतील, आजी आजोबा असतील त्यांचं लिपिड प्रोफाईल मे बी वन्स इन अ इयर केलं तर बरं राहील. अबाउट द एज ऑफ 40 इफ यू से वन्स इन अ इयर इज सफिशियंट इनफ. Can sugar affect the heart? Definitely, diabetes is one of the very much high risk factor for heart disease.
Thank you, sir. Now we will move towards our last session of our webinar, and I request Vaishali Nalodi madam to express vote of thanks.
A very good afternoon to the Honorable Research Person Dr. A.M. Dharmadhikari sir and respected Chairman and Principal Dr. V.M. Patil and IPSC Coordinator Dr. Nilesh Pawar and Head of Department of Zoology Dr. K.A. Gadre and teachers and participants and my dear friends. I am Dr. Vaishali Nalode, Assistant Professor, Department of Zoology, the New College, Kolhapur. I am thankful to the Head of Department K. Gadre ma'am to give me the opportunity to extend vote of thanks of this webinar. On behalf of myself, my department and our college, it's immense pleasure to extend the vote of thanks to Dr. A. M. Dharmadhikari for taking his precious time out for his busy schedule and giving us such valuable, informative lecture on cardiovascular disease, cardiovascular disease, and also give extra knowledge about physical activity to prevent heart disease, diabetes, also tips of heart attack, useful, and give answers to every question of the participants. We are thankful to our beloved principal for his constant support and encouragement. Also, I IPSC coordinator Dr. Nilesh Pawar sir, Dr. K. Gadre madam. I extend my sincere thanks to the teachers and non-teaching staff, and special thanks to Mr. Raj Vaibhav, Zoom assistant, for their cooperation of this webinar. Last but not least, I thank all the participants for active participation to make this webinar successful. I once again thank everyone for making webinar successful. Thank you.
फीडबॅक फॉर्मची लिंक टेलिग्राम ग्रुप वरती शेअर केली